28th, 10:45 a.m. And here we are. We're back at it. What's up, Joe?
Bro, cut that all out, man. Damn, that beat was tight. Do people still say like that was tight? Hey, bro, I love that beat, man. Hey, for you guys that don't know, Chico makes his own beats here up in the studio, man. This boy is just badass when it comes to making beats, making music, and that's beautiful. So shout outs to you and that beat, man. I love it. Just we need to keep that beat rolling throughout this conversation, man. Damn, tell me about that beat you just made, man.
Oh my goodness, dude. I didn't expect that. So yeah, it's I think it's the vibe, dude. Like the way me and my brother, talking to my brother, I mean, I always envied him and also like straight up jealous, dude. Like he when he makes a beat, dude, it was always off of a vibe. And so with me, I started noticing, I'm like, once my skills started going up a little bit more, I'm like, hey, I got this vibe, go off the vibe, and I can make a beat off of that. So growing up with you, dude, like Lowrider, that type of beats, what's it, Kid Frost?
Kid Frost, yes.
¿Qué pasó?
This is for la raza,
la familia.
raza.
¿Qué pasó? Mira.
But yeah, dude, it's like I love that type of beat back in the day. South Coast Syndicate? Is that somebody else?
Yeah, something Syndicate. I can't remember, but yeah.
There was somebody else. It was somebody else. South Mexicans.
It's a South Park Mexican, man. We want to go deep down Houston.
That's it.
Shout out to him, even though he's in prison.
The hell?
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
SPM.
man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for like raping a kid, bro. Yeah. Next topic.
Oh hell no! But god dang it. So yeah. So it's
allegedly. Oh.
But dude, and then you had this awesome lowrider truck, dude.
Yeah, man. Gold Digger. That was the name of my truck, man. Gold Digger. Yeah, and Chico used to travel with me, man. We used to go to car shows, and I needed Chico there for the hype, man.
Dude, what was those rims? Were they McLean?
No, so those were they were called Baby Moon Roadsters. And Google it. It's the center cap is like it's a circle, and I had those gold dipped. 24 karat gold dipped. Yeah. Shout out to my boy Arsenio Servin, man. He's out in Fort Worth, and his dad till this day that's his business.
What?
They chrome dip, they gold dip, and man, we're talking 1994, man. I had those chrome dips. Yeah. And so that was kind of a big thing because these rims didn't have any gold on them until I put that gold Baby Moon on them, and boom.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought you bought them like that, bro.
No, bro. They were custom. Hey, and going back through like my old boxes of stuff that I used for like props during the car shows, man. My Gold Digger, it made centerfold for Lowrider Magazine.
It sure did.
The original Lowrider Magazine also made centerfold for Orly's Lowrider Magazine. Orly's was out of New Mexico.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. So, man, fun days, man. Those are the best days ever, bro.
Well, wait, who else made the Lowrider Magazine?
My brother. My brother Rick, man. Big Rick. Yeah, so Rick, for those of you that don't know Rick is my younger brother. Rick became a stripper at the age of 18, and he was a bodybuilder. He used to work out at a very, very, very famous gym, still very famous until this day, Metroflex, the original Metroflex out of Arlington, Texas. He used to work out with Ronnie Coleman and big names, man. And he was 17 years old, and he got into bodybuilding. And then from bodybuilding to being a stripper to being the first male model for Orly's Lowrider Magazine.
Hell yeah, dude. I thought he made it on the Lowrider. I swear I thought
he was in Orly's. He didn't make the Lowrider Magazine.
Yeah.
He was one of the models for Orly's.
I remember as a kid, I was like, everything was Lowrider Magazine to me.
Wow, everything, right?
Yeah,
right. And then Rick, man, he was also, do you remember at the Lowrider shows, they used to have the Whip It contest?
Yes.
The whip it.
Yeah.
So Rick, man, that's how he used to make his money, man. He'd get on stage and be in the Whip It contest and make him a couple $100.
Dude, Rick was not scared of nothing. Yes. Dude. He'd get out there and just go do it. I don't care, Chico. Let's get out there, let's do it. I'm like, and dude, I would hate that because then he's getting me out of my comfort zone.
Right.
Like, no, Rick, it's not me. I don't want to do it.
Bro,
man.
Rick was so good at that. To
Yes.
this day, that
He
boy's
still
still good
does
at
it.
it.
He still-
Rick can have a conversation about anything and everything, even though if he doesn't know about it, but he makes you feel like, damn. Over here talking about freaking whatever, man, photosynthesis and whatever, like whatever topic we're going. Rick just has that vibe, man. He's able just to open you up. Very, very persuasive conversationalist.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start using big words, bro. Not really.
He is a genuine motivational executive or presidential salesman. That dude could promote and then push, dude. Like what, dude? He'll just get you in the mindset and like go.
Yes,
That's him.
man. And
That's
like
him.
you said, he can get you out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
And just make you feel like, hey, I
Yeah.
can be the next millionaire.
That's what he can
Right?
do.
Like, yeah.
That's what he
We can build a Tesla together. Like, I mean, Rick was thinking about this stuff years ago, man. Rick is just ahead of his times, man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Shout
he
out to
is.
Ray, bro.
I bet you he still is mental. I haven't got a chance to talk to him in a while. I know everybody's busy, but I could just imagine what he is. And then he's got his little boy too. Oh
Yeah,
man,
his little boy, bro, he's just as worse as he is. Bro. That boy's all over the place. Yeah, I talked to Rick the other day. He's like, I'm going to have to get back in shape. You have to get back in stripper shape or something, man, because that little boy just keeps him moving, man.
I can imagine.
Little CJ, man, love that boy. It's great, bro. But back to the vibes, man, and just from what I'm hearing is there has to be this feeling, right? There's this internal feeling that just comes out at the tips of your fingertips.
That's it.
and it's just natural flow.
It's a lot of stuff built up as well, our friendship and everything, and it's almost like something wants to explode, and it's also it's an anxiety, it's anxious, it's happiness, it's joy, and then it's a form of expression. Just happy to be next to my boy Joe. It's just,
bro.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I make that beat, it's like, I hope you like it. Doesn't mean it's gonna be right.
Right.
But it's like, and even when I made a few beats, dude, you'd be like, I like that one. I like that one. That was cool. Okay, cool. But I can tell, even through text, I'm like, all right, he's telling me, but I know when he likes something.
But you know what's weird, man? Just perspective, right? Like, and we're speaking about it now. Like, that is what you're feeling at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not wrong. It's not a bad beat, but that's just what you are expressing at the moment.
Facts.
And what I'm starting to see, man, and I wish I'd have known this. I wish somebody would have coached me up and taught me this as a kid on expression and how we all have a different way of expressing, of releasing that anxiety, releasing that fear within us.
Yes, sir.
Man, now as a father, I'm starting to see that in my kid. Now, you've met Nico.
Mm-hmm.
Nico reminds me a lot of you. He expresses and releases anxiety, his fear, his happiness, his sadness, his depression through music, bro.
Yeah.
And where he got that, I don't know, because he didn't get it from me. He didn't get it from his mom. Bro, oh, man.
That's that, dude. Are you sure? Like, even like your dad or your mom or grandparents, like this thing just came out of nowhere, right?
We're not musicians. Nowhere, and I do have an uncle, Mateo Baldo, lives in Houston. Mm-hmm. He's a music writer.
Dude.
He writes music.
Dude, that
so
takes
maybe?
No facts, bro. Because it's like an architect.
Okay.
You gotta. And what does he do for a living, by the way, your uncle?
He was a DJ for many, many years in a radio station, Spanish.
Listening to the music 24/7?
Yes, 24/7.
No, dude, that's listening to music. DJs, a lot of DJs, they start understanding, like, what can they do more in the business? They start seeing, like, why can't I make the music?
Yeah.
And they see themselves, they see the sound because they've been around it 24. They're living the sound, basically, right? They're playing the sounds, they're playing the hits. They've been exposed to the hits 24/7. So guess what you're gonna make? Hits.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So it's easily just start. You just need to know how to use your finger and make that first kick sound on the keyboard, because it's like it starts with kick, boom, boom, boom. All right, and then all the sounds when you're breaking down your mixes from like the hype part of the song. Guess what? In your mind, you're looking for that hype part of the song, because when you DJ, you're DJing the hype part of it, which moves the crowd. And so your mind has been already choreographed and studying the energy.
Bro, that makes so much sense. So they are engineers of sound. They have seen the tool. They have seen the machine being built from ground up, right?
Yeah.
And now they look to themselves like, or think to themselves,
I know I can
build this too.
That's it. And
I have seen what works, what doesn't,
Facts.
what beats do this. And oh man, it's amazing.
It just takes, and it sucks, because if you didn't network, if you don't know people, you're in your head, but you know that you can do it, but how? And then you go to YouTube, and then you're now in a deep rabbit hole of like trying to figure out how to do this. Like Efren, I know he can do it. Josue, I know they can do it. And then Josue, he was reaching out, trying to like, hey, how do you do this? And I was happily like, hey, get this. But there was a whole lot more involved. But I'm hoping that he took off with it. I didn't know what else to help him out with. It's just you just gotta ask, what is it?
Right.
But Efren, same thing. But if you're focused on one thing, then you know what I'm saying is like, if you don't know how to ask, then how do you get help? Like for me, same thing. Like, how do I ask for something if I don't know what to ask for? Like, what do you want in life? I don't know. Well, how do I help you? Like, say for instance, if you're applying for a job, how do I need work. I need work. You're talking to a friend or something that work at the job. I need a job. And they go, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. Well, how can I help you get a job if you don't know what you want to do?
It is so crazy you even just said that, man. On the way up here, I was listening to some motivational podcast, and they were speaking exactly on this topic. And the gentleman that was talking, he goes, there's 4 things to better yourself in life if you want to succeed. The first one we just talked about, you show up. Second, you work your ass off. You're going to work hard. Third, don't give up. And the last one, ask questions.
Oh, wow.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
There is no way to get better if we're not going to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to ask questions.
You have
to. And when you're asking questions, it's not like, well, what do I ask? No, you just keep asking until you finally get it. And then hopefully you get that person, he or she, them, that they are patient with you.
Right.
Like, what is it? Okay, no. I know what you're trying to get at. Do you want this? A lot of people run out there, don't have the patience,
Exactly.
But it's up to you to like, wait, hold on. I need your help. Pull them by the shirt. Wait 1 second. I need your help.
Yeah.
You just have to do that. And a lot of people don't know to do all those.
They don't.
Like, here's an example. God dang it. So I was talking to a friend, and they were telling me, hey, well, you know what? If they're not hiring at UPS online, go there. I'm like, well, that makes sense.
Show up, number 1. Yeah.
Show up, right?
Show up.
And so I'm like, okay, it's been a while since I've done that because, there wasn't internet at the time. You just show up. Hey, y'all hiring? Right? Dude, that works. Hey, anybody, I don't care who you are. If you're an executive, president, got fired, whatever, man, go up to the building. And so I went up there. I had my resume ready. And what they told me was, make sure you don't go in there and in your sleeping clothes, right? Make sure you represent a tie at least, a nice button-down shirt, and just know what you're walking into. Read the room. If everybody's wearing a tie, wear a tie. If everyone's wearing a polo shirt, wear a tie. Yeah. Right. I look better than everybody else.
Right.
So I went in there, and I said, hey, I'm just dropping off my resume. And she looked at me so confused. And I'm like, am I in the right place? And the banner says in metal, UPS, hiring now.
Okay.
She goes, what are you looking for? I said, well, any work. I said, well, are you at the right place? And because I'm in a tie and a button down, and I guess maybe my age, the way I look, man, I had the same haircut. And then she goes, did you look under professionals? I'm like, and I see what she's doing.
Yeah.
And which is okay. And I said, no, I did, but I didn't see anything. And I'm looking for any work. Like, I'm ready to work,
right.
And she goes, well, we're not hiring.
What?
And I said, I wasn't going to say like point at the sign or anything like that. I was like, well, okay, well, that's fine. Well, can I leave my resume, right? Because my boy said, would leave your resume. At least they have it in their hands. Yeah. That's the whole point of this. Yeah. If they're not hiring, which you already know, then leave your resume. She is backing up. don't want to touch it. Like it's full of.
Wow.
I got to be careful what I say. Rated G here, but like it's disgusting or something. Like it's dirty or smelly. I said, hey, and I almost wanted to put it in her chest so she can grab it. I'm like, like slam it on her chest. Hey, take it.
Yeah.
And as she's backing away, I'm like, okay, am I about to offend her or something? And I said, yeah.
Wow.
And I said, what's wrong? And then I'm sorry, but I can't take it. I said, well, can I just leave it here? Can I leave it here? She goes, no, we're on lockdown. What's that? And I'm assuming, like hiring freeze. She goes, we're at a hiring freeze. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I was like, okay, all right. And like, I've been shut down like for the first time. I'm like, I mean, I get it, but still, I'm looking at her. I'm like, do I look too old? I'm not gonna make it, back there.
Yeah.
I can't help but to think if there was a young one that came in, she would have been more helpful. I have no idea, but nothing felt right about that deal. And of course I went back and told, my friends, at UPS, and she goes, what was her name? I said, Dina.
Dina.
And I said, we'll go, I'll go talk to her. I'm like, all right, thank you, bro. Thank you so much, man. So then
they know Dina.
Yeah, she's the only one up in the front, So basically, hey, y'all people don't get discouraged.
No, man, keep at it.
Just keep at it.
Hey, we're always going to run into a Dina.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're not sponsored by UPS. What was their logo?
I don't remember. But I know where you're getting at, and I forgot all about that.
Once, I was undercover for 15 years. I played an undercover UPS driver once. And I made and I had to make my own ID badge. And it was somewhat of a subliminal message. Because that was their motto. What can the brown something do for you? And I put, what can the brown man do for you? On the bottom of my fake ID for UPS. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I was a fake. I was an undercover UPS driver. We had a whole wardrobe, bro. I had the brown.
Are you serious?
The brown jacket, the brown pants, everything. Black shoes. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, what do you think about this?
What is this?
It's like chai coffee full of cinnamon sticks and everything, man. You smell it.
And you're handing it to me?
Well, I'm just, just letting you smell because it smells good, dude. Like dirt. Sometimes dirt smells good.
That smells really good, but I thought you were trying to share your is that tea or coffee?
It's coffee.
I thought
it's kind of like coffee. No, it's tea. It's tea.
It's tea.
Yeah. Why?
I thought you were trying to give me a drink, and I've been watching you drinking it the whole time. Bro, I went to this training probably about a month ago, and it was this, police training, and he worked cold cases. He's out of somewhere in the East Coast somewhere.
Cold cases is like leads?
Cold cases like old murder cases, like murders that happened years ago that went unsolved, an unsolved murder.
Oh.
And he's very known. Man, I can't think of his name. My mind just went blank. But he solved many, many cold cases.
Okay.
And why I just thought about this, I don't know. But he talked about an incident where he is interviewing a suspect, and he wants to build a rapport with this suspect.
Okay.
A murder that happened 20 years ago, that can be pretty challenging on getting a person to confess to that. He said, and I don't know why I just thought about this, that he had, same thing, a cup of coffee.
Uh-huh.
And when he's speaking to that suspect, his way to build rapport, he would share his coffee. He'd be like, hey, man, you want to say what you just did to me, bro? So I thought this was a trick. Are you trying to build rapport? Why? And then you just pull it away from me. Like, no, just smell it. You can't drink it. Yeah, bro, he used to share his drinks with suspects. Like,
weird.
He would sit there and, like, be drinking his water or his coffee and then be like, hey, man, you seem thirsty. You want a drink?
My cup.
Yeah. Weird. I wouldn't do that. I almost took a sip of your tea or coffee. Dang. Oh.
That is weird. You got some people do this. So
dang. You don't even know the dude, man. Like, homeboy killed somebody 20 years ago and you're trying to share your coffee with him.
Drink and like
weird.
Beyond cooties.
Yeah. I mean, I guess at work, this dude was all in, man. Whatever he had to do to get a confession is freaking close out a case.
Oh my God.
Props to him. Weird.
I'm now painting this whole visual of that whole situation. And I don't know why. I mean, it could be white, black, Mexican, Indian. It's like, I'm thirsty.
Yeah, take a sip.
every time.
So 20 years ago, yeah, I killed a lady. Yeah, like that's weird, right?
But this coffee's good.
Yeah. You think next time I can get my own cup? Like, yeah. What do you thoughts?
So weird.
Dang. Just I don't know, man.
Hey, well, thank you for letting me figure out, or not letting me, but talking my thoughts out on this thing, because my plumbing in the house was backed up, dude, and that makes sense, man, because the street is caving a little bit, and it's affecting my sidewalk, and then it's affecting my plumbing. So now for the first time, I got to like go to city something, I guess. And then like get these people to do, because when we did research at one time, it was like pulling teeth. Like, who's going to come out here and do this?
They're not going to make it easy for you, man.
No, they don't want to pay for that.
Hey, one thing I've learned though, being in government service is be the squeaky wheel. The squeaky wheel always gets attention. Every single time. Email after email. If you're not getting a response, if the emails aren't working.
Protest.
If the emails don't work, if the phone calls aren't working, and the visits to the city hall aren't working, bro, I've seen complaints go all the way to like the city mayor, city manager.
Are you serious?
And then, because we see this all the time. We'll get emails, from the chief of police, and it just starts to trickle down. And you look at the very bottom of the email, like, where did this start? And it was a complaint to the city manager.
How long ago? Like, could you see the dates and stuff? Like
Pretty quick. Within a week. If something hits a city manager's email, a city council member, right?
Yeah.
These are, city council elected officials, city managers is a position within the organization.
Okay.
They don't want to hold on to these complaints. They're going to push them down, and then it's going to hit the chief of police. The chief of police isn't going to investigate it, so he's going to push it down probably that same day, where it hits all the way down to either the officer or the investigators. Hey, this person's complaining about cars being parked on the street and blocking their driveway. Like, I just accidentally did in your driveway, but it's all good. But for example, that happens all the time. So for you, bro, you don't get the response that you need. But start at the top.
Wow.
Start at the top.
Well, I guess you need to know your city council people, right?
Know who they are, and that's not hard. Everything's online.
Okay. No, you're educating me, bro. Like, pretty sure the wife knows, but still. Wow. Okay, thank you.
Oh, that's what I would do.
No, that's good.
Your street's falling apart, man.
Yeah. Badass.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you, bro. Seriously.
Boom. Love that beat, by the way. Man, keep playing it. Keep playing it. Keep playing that beat.
Thanks, man. All right. So, what is the agenda for today, by the way?
Well, we left you guys on a cliffhanger last time.
Oh,
in our last episode.
Talk to me. What happened?
A dirty cop.
Dude, okay. Now this, I'm scared. So, I don't watch scary movies, man, because my mind, I can really get into the stories. You know? And when we first talked about this, like, what do you think? Do a podcast? You want to do this? And it was just awesome that like the way you like agreed. You've been waiting to release this stuff.
Release this tension, these stories in my head.
And one of your stories you shared with me back then, I got misty. I think I cried a little bit, dude. And I was like, and the way you're just going through it, like, you got to get up, do it again, and then like how many of these stories happen in a day, how it affects, our police officers out there. And I'm like, Joe, we got to talk about this, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
So now, mentally, I'm not ready, bro. But we got to do this for everybody out there,
man. I got to set it up, man. It's like a book. We got to start at the very beginning. I'll give you the details to it, all the way to the end.
Shit.
Let's just talk about it, man. That's the thing. And one thing I've realized too is as we've been doing this, I'm not the only one that has gone through this.
Yeah, of course.
Especially in law enforcement. Every law enforcement officer has gone through some similar type of scenario. Maybe not to this magnitude, but we have seen it. And for those that have paid attention to the title of this podcast, it's called the Blue Virus. There's a reason why we call it the Blue Virus. And I want you, listeners, to maybe figure it out. Why are we calling this the Blue Virus? And we've talked everything from Gina on the first episode, where she saw the cop and what we found out later on that he was involved with. And then to one of my very good buddies who committed suicide. And now I want to talk about this, man. A dirty cop. A dirty cop. It's a virus, man. It's a virus. And it's my job, my responsibility to make sure that this doesn't continue to happen, to make sure that the role that I play will affect in a positive way, spread my message, spread my whatever it is to the next person, to the next law enforcement officer, and to, you know what, bring awareness to the public, man, to the community on what's out there. But we're not all the same.
Yeah.
We are all different. The same way that you
backgrounds,
our backgrounds, bro, and how we were raised, and you know the cards we were dealt in life. I'll tell you what, man, my life wasn't always easy. I'm gonna tell you something right now, and you know this, Cheeks. I should not be where I'm at today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I shouldn't be here, man. And on the stupid stuff that I did as a kid, I should not be here. And then I think even deeper into that. Why am I here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why am I 25 years later into law enforcement, and now we're talking face to face, and now we're telling stories about what I've been doing my last 25 years, man? Like, that is wild to me.
That's crazy, Joe.
It's wild, man. It's just wild. Like, it just, right? We don't get to choose how we start in life. Yeah. But we get to choose the path that we end up taking and how we end our story. We essentially get to write the conclusion to our story.
Essentially.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Great example. My wife, she has twin brothers. They're older. And we've always heard this. The good twin, the bad twin. Right? Have you heard that before? There's always a good twin and a bad twin.
Yeah.
This is the perfect example of that, man. Her brothers. The same upbringing, same father, same mother. Now, her father, and hopefully she doesn't mind me sharing this story, he has since passed, so respect to him. But early on, in order to survive, he was a drug dealer. Her father was a drug dealer.
Wow.
Her twin brothers, who were older than her, were responsible for packaging of the drugs.
Wow.
Can you imagine a 6-7-year-old kid helping daddy package drugs for distribution?
Wow.
Do they know any better?
No.
No, same upbringing. They continue doing this. This is wild, right?
Yeah, because this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah. But this is it's gonna be in any situation, in any family where that's how they were brought up.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you this. Good twin, bad twin. We just talked about it. There is a bad twin.
Mm-hmm.
He is sitting in prison right now. There is a good twin who I have much respect for because I've known him for a very, very long time. Successful. Married. Has a house. Has four-wheelers. Has, side-by-sides. Like a person who has contributed to society in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Explain. Why did that happen? Genetics? How did one get bad, one get good? Like, how did that happen? Right? Why did he choose this and he chose that? That's how deep I think into this stuff. Like, why did I choose what I wanted to choose, and how did I end up here as, a successful person? And I've asked the question. I've asked the question to my brother-in-law. Like, man, like, what happened? Like, why did you end up here? And why did your brother end up there?
Those forces,
I've asked them
bro.
both. I've asked them both.
You did.
Yeah. You know what the response is? So, the good one. I didn't want to be like my father.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The bad one. I hate saying the word bad, but the bad one.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be like my father.
Wow. That makes total sense.
When you don't think people are watching you, Cheeks, guess what? They're watching you.
They're watching me all the time. 24/7.
All the time, man.
Yeah.
All the time.
Everyone's watching.
Everyone's watching. And you could be mentoring somebody and you don't even know that you're mentoring them.
Facts.
You can be spreading these positive vibes to them, and they're just soaking it all in, and you have no idea.
Facts.
Make it a point, man, every single day, man. If keep sending positive vibes. It's called integrity, right? It's doing the right thing when nobody's watching.
Right.
Every single opportunity in your life, everything that you do, man, that's how you should be living it.
Damn. Joe, mic drop. Mic drop. I haven't shared this with not too many people yet. Obviously, I shared with my wife and everything regarding podcasts. I have one with my cousin, and soon to start up with another good friend of mine. He's I can't wait to share his stories. And now recently just starting with some special friends just like you, bro, Diane and Patrick. And the topics for this one is at the moment, job loss, how to get through it. And real quick, Patrick, his energy, as well as Diane, but Patrick, I just met him like last week. And dude, he reminds me of like one of our cousins, our close cousins, dude. It's just, and the energy is on point. Like I need these folks in my life too, bro. And every time and he's a speaker, he's a motivational speaker.
Oh wow.
Dude. Yes, dude. He's traveled the world and everything.
Ooh,
yes,
wow.
Yes, bro. So like I've always wanted to like be able to talk. Like when you hear him talk, and anybody, when you hear other people talk and they're a speaker, like you want to be like them. Like how do you have, like you too, Joe, like you speak to, like how did you get up there? And so when I meet people like that, dude, they go to another level in my heart, dude. Like it's just like, wow, it takes, you got to prepare mentally, you got to be focused, and then there's that initiative, and then there's like, why are you doing, what is your why in this? You know?
Exactly.
And but at the end, every time he speaks or he says something, mic drop.
Dang.
And so I always laugh when he says that. So what you just said, mic drop, Joe. That was awesome. You blew me out of the water. Like I've lost some words right now. Like I'm just gonna just stay quiet for a second and just think about everything you just said, because everyone is watching 24/7, and doesn't matter what job you have. Every day you got to make the best of it, because somebody maybe outside your circle may need your help, and it could be another job. It could be something where it's going to be self-rewarding and you don't even know it. And you don't even know that it's going to be self-rewarding until you go do it. And all of a sudden, wow, can I do that again?
Bro, you're right on point. And what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, you should be setting yourself up for the next opportunity.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Mm-hmm.
No complacency.
Mm-hmm.
Complacency meaning you're getting comfort. You're getting comfortable in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Nah, you start getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Bro, challenge yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Make yourself uncomfortable in order to succeed. You have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. During my last job for 13 years, dude, I didn't get that until I got there. I mean, I did find my voice to be able just to speak between you and me. Like, I'm an introvert.
Man, I wouldn't believe it.
I know.
Would not believe it.
I always have to. I'm happy to put that out there, like, because I love being by myself. I love working by myself. I love doing my own thing, but I do realize that I'm driven by people, and so I had to come out of my shell, because when I'm driven by people and I'm around by people, guess what? I'm learning. I'm learning every day, all day, about you, about myself, everything. I'm always growing when I meet somebody new, no matter what. Isn't that weird and crazy?
So I heard something the other day, and it made me think about both of us, because I think we're kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Lone Wolf Empath. EMPATH. Empath.
That's me.
Sorry, my English not very good. Google it, bro. That's it. I'm telling you, we show the signs of the lone wolf empath, because I'm the same way. Like, I'm fine by myself.
Yeah.
I'm good with a very small circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to trust people, but I also need that exterior, that positive energy.
Yeah.
Because it'll affect me in different ways.
There's this thing I saw on TikTok. This lady, man, she's just going all out, talking about You know, you're fake if you're trying to be around people. You're fake if you need people around you. You're fake if you know, you trying to get so many people around you. Like, how do you be friends with all these people? And I said, well, you know, I can see, and I'm not saying, I'm not doing justice on what on her explanation or what her point across is. It's just basically, if you have too many people, like, how are you able to be friends with everybody? Like friend, like friend is in a very important name, a topic, a thing to do, because a friend, you know, they be there for you thick and thin. How do you have hundreds of those?
You don't.
Yeah. It's hard. But you can still develop, you know, some heartful relationships, some heart relationships where you have conversations. It's during businesses and you're developing trust. And you have a work friend that you build relationship and rapport to work on projects together. But guess what? I mean, depending on what business you're in, you could have hundreds of these, lots of projects. You're developing relationships with your team. You're developing relationships with your client. You know, you have to be transparent, so there's no false expectations. You know,
right.
Well, with me, networking, and growing in that business, dude. I swear, bro. Like, I was, as an introvert, I was scared to talk. I was scared to, you know, especially coming up in my culture. Yeah, dude. And the way I am and everything. And I guess the way my dad always, and he taught with fear, right? You better do it. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, just do it, you know? And then if I don't, here comes, you know, a belt or something. And the same thing with my mom, you know, do it. I'm like, what? And then she'll slap me because I'm talking back.
Dang.
Yeah, it's the most craziest thing, right? So growing up like that, I'm like, am I going to get that where I'm at in a Fortune 500 company or Fortune 20 company?
Yeah.
And so, so when I got into that last row of being like a senior manager trainer, like, how do you got to ask questions. You have. Here's what I did. If I'm going to create a training for you to learn about your job, how do I put something together without talking to you? Now we're just not talking. I gotta ask questions. And that's just not asking questions. I gotta ask the right questions. And then, you know, if I don't know the topic, I gotta ask, what is this topic about? And if I don't understand it, I got to tell people, I don't understand what this topic is about.
Right.
And then if I'm put on, you know, face front in front of everybody, well, Jason, what do you think? I got to say, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I have no idea what this is. Can I circle back with someone who's an expert in this? Because I'm still having problems trying to understand what this is. Because, dude, the way I grew up, I mean, that's why I didn't go to college, because I felt like I was going to fail in college. I had all these learning challenges, and I don't know if I've said this on here, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because I shared it with the other podcast. My learning challenges is basically I need to be hands-on, I need to be engaged, and I need to see it. Reading does not help. I can read that thing 10, 15 times. It does not help. Listening to it, maybe. And then but I have to do other things while I'm listening to it. But I've realized you got to throw me into the fire. And I was always scared. Like, don't be throwing me in. I'm scared. I'm not going to do it. No, don't. But guess what? Once I've accepted what my challenges are, I finally said, hey, I got to get in there.
Yeah.
Can you understand that? You have to embrace that. You have to, but with open arms, hug that fear and say,
bring it, baby.
Let's do it.
Bring it.
And so, yeah, just letting you know, like, I didn't grow up like that. And then even people today, they're saying, I'm not like you. I don't go out there and do podcasts and videos and music and talk to people. No. I was not like that. Right. Something snapped. I realized that closed mouths don't get fed.
Wow.
Mic drop.
Dang, great mic drop, Cheeks. Yeah, you're absolutely on point, man. That's the thing to understand too. Is like even in our culture, growing up with that ego, that machismo, and we've talked about that before, where being vulnerable is a weakness. And that's the thing that I've learned, man, just recently, bro, like within the last maybe 5 to 10 years. Like,
Same.
Bro, it is okay to be vulnerable.
Same.
Especially, now in a leadership position, like being vulnerable in a leadership position,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for me to ask those below me, my subordinates, hey, man, explain this to me. They know that you don't know, right?
Great.
They know that they've either been doing a job longer, they've had more experience. Just because you are a boss or in a leadership position,
Facts.
it is okay to ask.
Yeah.
And you get much more respect
Oh my God.
when you show vulnerability. It is not looked like weakness. I mean, and that's the thing that I've learned, but it is so hard, even till this day, right? Bro, I'm Mexican American. Like, I know how to do that. Bro, no, you don't. No, you don't.
I'm only laughing, Joe, because I know you, bro. And I'm happy. But I thought maybe you kind of learned this maybe a long time ago because in your business. But dude, I'm hyped up. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm laughing too because I did not know this, dude.
It's okay. It's okay to not know, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Until I didn't know you were going through it like that, bro.
Yeah, man. And I struggle to this day, but I catch myself now because now I realize
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Like I'm over a homicide group, right?
Shit.
Bro, my guys know that I have never worked a homicide. I was an undercover cop.
Yeah.
My job was not to go out there and solve murders. But now I'm the boss over the homicide group.
Wow.
They know that I don't know how to work murder cases.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Right. Yeah.
I can still be a boss.
Yeah.
I can still be a valuable person in that investigation because I know how to do other stuff within an investigation. Now, not once did I ever walk in there. Oh yeah, I know what to do. No. And it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And my guys have told me, like, hey, much respect.
Yeah.
You didn't walk in here saying, hey, this is how I want to do it and I think we should do it. No. Bro, never worked a murder case.
Do you know that out of 30, 40-something jobs that I've had, when I come across those people that we're talking about where they say, oh, yeah, I know how to do that. But what did we talk about? Everybody's watching? Everybody knows ass. That's just you're Robert Dickerson. You're Richard. No. It's
Bro, is that just a real person you just freaking name dropped? Damn. Robert, you suck.
You're a Richard.
Oh, Richard, you suck. I don't even know this. I don't even like him anymore.
Mr. Dick. It's just basically you've lost respect with everybody around you, and now you're wondering, why is everybody against me? Because you're faking your way through it, when genuinely, if it's okay to say, okay, now what's going on? Well, let me explain. But again, it comes from your background, how you grew up.
Exactly.
You fake it till you make it crap. I'm like,
right.
I get it, depending on where you're at.
Yeah, man. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to let go of the ego sometimes, separate from the ego, to be a better person, to be a better leader, to be a better father, a husband. It is okay. And to everyone out there listening, it is okay not to know the answer.
Yeah.
And like we've been talking from the very beginning, sometimes you just have to ask.
Yeah.
And it's all right.
That's it, dude.
It's all right.
I know we bounced off.
Bro, we always bounce off, man. That's what keeps our listeners listening, because they still want to hear about the dirty car.
Oh my God, dude.
Drop that beat.
Okay.
Man.
I'm ready.
All right. So we're already at episode 3. Everyone should know I worked undercover for 15 years. Everything from vice-related offenses to drug cases. Now, my story is a little different. Not most get to do both. But I got to do both vice and narcotics. Man, and most can't do that. Most either want to do one or the other and not the other, because it's very, very challenging. When it came to drug investigations, man, I loved it. There's just something about going undercover and connecting with bad guys. And maybe it's just because of how, my upbringing and the life that I lived, that I was able to connect with bad guys.
There's some relation there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I was able to talk and BS my way through stuff. Now, when it comes to drug investigations, a lot of drug investigations are very dependent of informants, aka snitches.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Let that settle in. Snitches. I'm gonna tell you something. There are no longer any rules to the game. Meaning that, bro, you ain't talking, you better not snitch. Ride or dies. If we fall, we fall together. Bro.
Oh, okay.
Bro, I have talked to many, I have debriefed many of people arrested, and
Nobody dies together.
nah, bro, there ain't no rules to the game anymore, man. They are so quick to snitch if it's going to help them. If it's going to drop their sentence by 6 months, if they're doing a 20-year stint, and by them talking to the cops and giving just a little bit of information, and the agreement, ultimately being 6 months off of their sentence, they will snitch.
Wow.
They will snitch.
Wow.
I've talked to cartel guys, bro.
What?
I have been face to face with cartel guys. It's no secret. And they will snitch. Because it's going to benefit them at the end. Because they also have families. They also want to be home.
Yeah.
They also want freedom.
I mean, they're making a living,
Exactly. No one wants to be locked up for 20 years. Man. So that's how this case starts. With the snitch. Now, it wasn't my case. I'm not going to take credit for the case. This is a big investigation. It was an informant that had already been working. But he had some really, really good information. So he's in the free world. He is awaiting his sentence to go do time in federal prison. But in the meantime, he's being allowed to work with law enforcement to reduce his sentence so that this can be presented during his sentencing. Meaning that the agents would present it to a federal judge like, all right, this source has been working with law enforcement throughout his time out of prison. He has done this and this and this and this to help law enforcement on the war on drugs or on the investigations.
Question: that is an informant / snitch?
Bro, and that's just an AKA, bro. An informant is a snitch. An informant, I will also refer to an informant as a source. So if that confuses me, it's just, I'm talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
An informant, snitch, and a source is the same person.
Okay.
If you're providing information to law enforcement, you are considered an informant.
Yeah.
On just street term snitch, and there's no secrets. Everybody knows, who these people are.
Yeah.
But that's how law enforcement, the majority of the time, in order to make bigger cases in the narco world, is to have an informant. You almost always need somebody on the inside to keep climbing that chain to get that, the big drug dealer, the capo, the leader of the organization within whatever group that you're investigating. And that's how this one started. So he's out, he's awaiting sentence. He's working other cases. Now his handler, a handler is an agent or, the narco detective, the narco agent that is responsible for that informant, that source. All the information goes to just that one person that he is responsible to be reporting this to. So he provides information to his handler, to the cop, the other undercover, and says that, I got a dirty cop.
Okay.
Yeah. Same. That's the same response from that we get in law enforcement. Like, oh wait, what? You got a dirty cop? Like you can, and this is kind of the slang. I can do a dirty cop, meaning that he has information on a corrupt cop.
I've seen enough movies where being a dirty cop is not just just doing bad. I mean, it really affects everything morally, integrity, everything. It's just this person's about to lose their job, and somebody could die over this here soon.
Bro, you're putting a bad name on a very large group of
everybody,
a profession, on everybody. And that's the worst part about law enforcement is if you have one dirty cop, guess what the general public thinks, man? Like they think that we're all bad. Bro, have you ever been to a bad dentist or a bad doctor or a bad mechanic?
Yeah, I don't go to any of them no more.
But for some reason, right, you take your car in for an oil change and typical, right? Like, oh yeah, you need an oil change. You need new this, new that, new this, and that, and new tires, and a new hose, and a new this. And you're like, wait, what? I just came in for the 1999 oil change for 10 minutes. Like, seriously, right? And so these experiences that you have with these different professions, doesn't mean that, oh, F that, I'm never going to a mechanic again. F every mechanic that I meet.
Yeah.
Right? So I preach this all the time. Just because you come across one bad cop, one bad incident with a cop, that does not mean that I'm the same way. Right? Please, please, please change your perspective on law enforcement. And I can keep preaching it, but I can also back it up because I was the same way as a kid. Yeah. I did not like law enforcement, man.
None of us did.
None of us did.
And that's facts, dude.
When I first moved here in this area from Houston, Texas, I had a bad experience with law enforcement, man. Oh, and I'll name drop it right now. Hearst Police Department. I was a kid, man. I was 16 years old, figuring out life. I have a brain of a 16-year-old, but I thought I was a big and tough kid. Mm-hmm. And I'm walking down the street, Pipeline Road. If anybody knows this area, it's me and the homies, my brother, Joe. We used to call him Little Joe. What's up, Little Joe? Still think about you, man. Mm-hmm. Arsenio, my boy Arsenio. And we grew up, when we moved here, we met them, and they were the first Hispanic kids in the neighborhood that we connected with. Very cool. And we're walking down Pipeline Road, but we had just gone to a dance, a school dance at Hearst Junior High. Remember the school dances?
I do.
Bro, this is the funnest. Like all the tough guys that you'd be standing in the bag, just girls, in typical, man. Well, anyways, we just got back from the school dance and we're walking down Pipeline Road. 9:00 at night, whatever. Yeah. Bro, we got roughed up by a Hearst cop. I'm a kid, man. I'm 16. Maybe I was 15. I was 15. Rick is 13. Yeah. Arsenio was same thing, 14. Little Joe was the little one. He was probably 12. Yeah. Bro, we were treated like we were murder suspects. Got thrown up against a cop car, searched. Bro, we don't have anything, man. I'm a kid. Yeah. Bro, and I wasn't into drugs. I wasn't into any of that. And just got roughed up, man. And ever since that point, right, I was like, forget the cops, bro.
Colors.
Yeah, like why was I treated that way? Yeah. And I wasn't a disrespectful kid, man. I was, raised to respect your elders. You respected people, man. And yes, sir, no, sir. But still, though, I was treated like trash. Yeah. And for many years, man, I just held that like, oh, I hate them. Like they're horrible. Yeah. And so I can see that in other people. Like I can share this story and relate to them on why people feel a certain way about law enforcement. Yeah. Because they have one bad experience. And F those cops. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, F those cops that do not know how to respect people. Right? Of course, I get it. A lot of times when a cop is disrespected from the initial conversation, I get that, man. Yeah. There's going to be some type of emotional response. But
you're human.
Yeah. But if I'm the one contacting you, I'm going to contact you with respect, hoping that you respect me the same way, right? And if that respect is there, then let's just keep it. But to start off any contact with disrespect from the law enforcement, I'll tell them in their face. And I have even experiences as a cop being pulled over, and the initial contact, that initial conversation is disrespectful to me from that cop. And we as Latinos, bro, we hate to be disrespected.
Dude.
Worse. And that's any race, first of all.
Well, yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
But still, just it's in our blood and our culture. Like, do not disrespect me.
Especially our generation.
Yes, right? And man, I experience it, so I know how the general public feels about this, but I got to spread this word. And those listening in law enforcement, bro, like, this is on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is on how you make this initial contact, and it is wrong. And I've told it before, man. When after I promoted and went back to the street in uniform, and I would see that, unacceptable. You stop with this BS, man.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're flipping you off.
Yeah.
Right? They're not flipping you off. They're flipping off
badge,
what you're wearing.
your uniform.
Because how they have been treated in the past or what they think you are. So what? You know what? Prove them wrong.
That's it.
Prove them wrong. And I did that over and over and over again, bro, where I would be disrespected because I'm in uniform. Next thing you know, kids high-fiving me.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how do I become a cop?
That takes work.
Bro, and I wish somebody would have done that to me very, very early on. Yeah. And we talked about it. The officer that was the SRO, and that changed my perspective.
That's right.
Bro, that's what I want to do now.
Episode 1, wasn't it?
Episode 1, bro. Yeah. The one that took me to the, when we did the strip club chicks.
Yeah.
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 But he had his way, though. He had his way of changing my mindset. So that's what I need to be doing now. And that's what everybody else in law enforcement needs to be doing now, especially in these times.
Joe. Another mic drop, brother. Oh my God, dude. Thank you so much for sharing that, dude. I'm over here. If y'all could just see my face, I'm all scared. I'm like, he almost spit in my face. And I'm just like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I mean, dude, I feel your passion, dude. You're right in my heart, dude. I'm like, wow, like this is real. Like you're that message. I hope this message, man, reaches thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions one day, dude, because that's every day that I shared this. I'm like, man, F that. I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, and genuine folks that are like in like managers to this day, they still hate the police force. And
absolutely.
I look at them like, okay, we're playing ping pong, we're good friends, and I'm talking to them like I'm talking to you, and then all of a sudden, man, F them cops.
Yep.
And I'm like, what just happened? All I want to do is just share a positiveness about something, and they're shutting me down, and I haven't even shared them yet. The thing.
It's like you want to say, hey man, let me introduce you to a good one.
Yeah.
I know a good mechanic. I know a good doctor. Same thing, bro. One of my very good friends. I don't think you've ever met Big Rick. I went to high school with Big Rick and then went to college with him for a little bit. Big Rick, I still talk to him to this day. Mm-hmm. He called me probably a couple months ago, and his daughter, his 16-year-old daughter, had a bad experience with a cop. And now she hates the cops. Yeah. Bro, honestly, that hurt me. Yeah. Because Big Rick is a very, very good friend of mine, and I know his kid. And he told me she hates cops now because of one bad experience. I said, Rick, bring her over. I want to show her good cops.
Yeah.
I want to show her good people. I want to show her my friends who are cops, and we're not all the same. Bro, it was so bad. She's 16 years old. She didn't have her driver's license. She got cursed at by this cop. Belittled, trashed. Her very first encounter with a cop, and this is it?
About her driver's license.
Her fucking driver's license, bro, because she didn't have it on her. So he treats her like trash. What message are you sending to that kid other than, you know what? I'm going to hate you after this.
What in the world, Joe? Like,
and then he calls me asking like what he should do. And I'm like, bro, this is sad. Like, let me just get past the point of I hate what she just went through, because now she's going to hate every single cop that she comes across. Yeah. She's going to be afraid of them. She's not ever going to talk to a cop. And now, you know, I feel like I have to change her perception on this. Right? And it sucks, man. It sucks that kids have to go through this, or even as adults going through this, man, because of one bad encounter. And I'm not going to tell you that it's just going to be one bad. It can be 2 or 3 different bad encounters that you have, man, but it's not all of us. And I promise you, and those listening out there, it is not all of us. We're all kick and chill with you, and we can go hang out, and I'll tell you funny stories, and I will treat you with all the respect. Right? And because that's just me. And there's more of me, of us that are like me than them.
So, thank you, Joe, for sharing that, dude. Do you know how police officers became police officers? Do you know the story? And I've only
Are we talking like back in the day?
The slave days.
I mean, not intimate. I don't have intimate information on it.
What I saw, what I read, and what I was told was that there was no police, and it was those same folks that was making sure the slaves didn't get out of hand.
Okay.
And then those folks were the ones that became police officers. And then it grew from that.
Okay.
You know. And then there was a don't quote me on this, but I do have video of I gotta find it. But I was part of this video production a few years ago regarding this one, and I think I'm gonna get some of this information wrong about who he is and where he came from. But this police officer came from California. Maybe he's in his early 60s, but he wrote a book, and it was an amazing book. So this guy, he says how his story comes about. The reason how I got introduced to him was regarding the video production. He wanted to talk about his story, and it was when this follows along the dirty cop kind of thing. They were on the bikes. They were on the bikes out there, and it was some kind of event. And then all of a sudden, this maybe early 20s runs up to the police officer with something in his hand, but he was coming at him, like full force, like he was getting ready to hit him. And this officer that I was doing a video production of, he can see what's in his hand. And so he was getting ready to like, oh man, and like getting ready to be, in defense mode and protect him. And, he's going through it, right? Because this is happening right now. They're there to make sure the people are good, right? Like a parade kind of thing. And they're there like, to what do you call it? Like you have those police officers there on bikes, but just making sure everything's good.
Right. They're just there on patrol or just securing the
area and everything for the day. And another officer sees this and guns him down. Then when it's time to make the report, that officer who guns him down says, hey, we're going to plant a gun here.
Ooh.
Yeah. The officer that I'm recording, that they're interviewing, his testimony and everything, he is saying, I'm not going with this. You made a wrong decision. You do this, but here's the deal. His whole, what do you call it? His whole team, his whole
platoon or
his whole squad kind of deal. I mean, it went all the way to the top. It's like, no, we're setting this up that way we don't look bad. But this officer says, I'm not going along with this because he couldn't do that. He knew he knew to his heart this was wrong. He could not agree with his team that I'm not going to say that there was a gun in his arm because that's not what it was.
Right.
For the next 6 months to a year, I'm trying to remember, they were harassing him. His team was harassing him until he quit, and he quit. And moved on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's wild, man. And that's the stuff that I think we need to talk about that is unacceptable in law enforcement. That is totally unacceptable. Now, he did what he did for a reason, and only he can explain what he did.
Yeah.
Now, to try to look, Monday morning quarterback it, or even, coming up with these thoughts and ideas on how let's protect our organization or let's protect our team and let's do something illegal. Nah, bro. Unacceptable, man. That to me, just immoral, unethical, illegal, just no integrity. You don't belong in law enforcement, man. And I think we as law enforcement need to do a better job in identifying people that believe that way coming into law enforcement. That's the thing. Do they come into a law enforcement with the typical response? I want to protect and serve and help the community. Most do, and I think we do a really good job at recruiting. But man, we have to make sure that we're not letting anyone in that lacks integrity.
Yeah,
that has any chance of, hey man, let me plant some drugs, or let me plant a gun to protect me, or make myself a better cop. Nah, man, that's totally unacceptable. Horrible, horrible. It's out there though.
I know.
It's out there. And then the story I'm about to share is exactly what it is, man. It's exactly what happened.
What are you talking about?
The dirty cop story that I have. He was a cop for 15 years. So back to our informant. Our informant told his handler, I can do a dirty cop. Everybody just in awe. What? You can do a dirty cop? Yep. I have information on a cop who I deal with personally, who I can call 24/7 and let him know when a load of drugs is coming from the south. I give him the information and he will pull that car over and he will rob them for their dope. We were like, what? No way. There's just no way. This is actually happening in our area. And the informant was like, yep. Now remember, an informant, somebody facing time like this, he was a big time drug dealer. He has a lot of connections. He's got some good connections. And he has been holding this in his back pocket until he needed it. Right? Now he needs it.
God.
Now he needs a reduction in his sentence. And this is big. And an informant, the source knows this.
Depending how big the story is, could he get more time off?
Absolutely. That's why he's been holding this in his pocket to the very last minute. Wow. Hey, hold on. I know my sentencing is
this
month, and I'm looking at this much time. Hold up. I got one more thing.
Are you serious?
Bro, informants are very smart, especially at this level of narco trafficking. They are very smart individuals. They are businessmen, right? But it's a very lucrative business. They're making a lot of money.
What?
Bro, guys that are at that level of narco trafficking, these, direct connections to the cartel, and now you have a cop on your payroll where you're able to get 4, 5, 6 kilos of cocaine for free because you have a cop that is going to rob a drug dealer, and pretty much all you have to do is split profits. That's a pretty good business for them, is their mindset. And they have to be able to manage that. And they have people in their payroll that also have to be included.
That's how that works.
That's how it works. And that's just one part of narco trafficking, man. I mean, we can talk about the people that are, crossing the border with it hitting the vehicles and then coming over to the U.S. and then it just hitting different cells within the organization. And then you have the anomaly. This guy who had a direct connection to a cop because he knew when drugs were coming over and can make a phone call and say, hey, cop, buddy, I got 4 keys of cocaine coming over tomorrow. It's coming from Houston, Texas. This is the vehicle that he's going to be driving. And this is who the target is. This is where he'll be. Here you go. Pull him over. Game on. Let's go. We get free dope.
Wow.
And back then, kilos of cocaine were going for about 25 grand.
How much is a kilo? Hand?
A kilo is 2.2 pounds.
Oh, and that's powder.
Yeah. So this was in a powder form, size of we call it a brick. So just imagine 2.2 pounds. That is a kilogram of cocaine. That a packaging, maybe, I don't know, it could be anywhere from like 6 by 6, 8 by 8, however they're able to compact it, sometimes a little bigger.
Back then, how much?
What's that?
Back then, how much?
$25,000, man, for 1 kilo. So he was setting up a 100,000 kilo deal, pretty much, or 100,000 drug buy, right? So the informant is setting up to buy. Hey man, yeah, I want 100. I want 4 kilos of cocaine. All right, I'll bring it over. I'll be in your area tomorrow around this time. All right, bad, cool. So me, the person buying the drugs, has to come up with $100,000. Or if I know a dirty cop, can pull you over, steal the dope.
Wait.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
A deal within the deal, making a deal.
So that no money comes out of my pocket. He's a businessman. He's making money and not even spending a dime other than having the right connections.
That is a
pretty smart, man.
Job.
Very dangerous job. Very dangerous job.
I mean, he's doing sales, finding leads. He knows logistics, operations, transportation.
Transportation. He found the hack. He found a little shortcut. And no money comes out of my pocket.
Hey, due to cost of living, does that also go in price too?
Bro, their cost of living is just crazy. That's a different form of living for narco traffickers. So that's exactly what he did, man. He's been holding this in his back pocket until the right moment, the right opportunity now to benefit him. And it was wild, and we were like, there's no way. And they're like, yep, it's gonna happen. So the way he was in contact with, he had direct contact to the border, to the cartel guys. And every time was a Hispanic transporting the drugs.
The guy looked the part, I guess. Why
So
could
remember-
it be a white guy or a black guy?
And remember, I was just it would stand out too much. They had to keep it, right? They had to keep business the way it usually runs. And for those that don't remember from episode 1, I was the only Hispanic in the unit for 15 years. So this is back 2008 into 2009. And they told me the story. They kind of laid it out. And they said, you're it. What do you mean I'm it?
Wait.
Like, hold on. Who am I? Like the dirty cop? Like, and they're still, the story's still like running in my head. I'm trying to put it all together.
Wait.
I'm like you, man. I'm very visual. I need to hear it, see it, touch it, experience it. And I'm like, I'm who?
Wait. All this time, this informant is you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm the guy that's going to be bringing up the 4 kilos of cocaine to get robbed by the cop. Play that beat. Yeah, man. And I know I get in deep to the intro of these stories, but that's the buildup, and that's the same reaction that I get. Wait, what? So I'm the drug dealer. Yeah, you're the drug, bro. It's like a movie. It's like a movie cast, right? And you have it all laid out, and you got your characters, and you're like, all right, I'm looking for somebody to play. I don't know, Novocaine in the new Marvel movie, right? Like, all right, who do you guys think? Do you want this guy? You want that guy? Who do you want? Let's get this guy. All right, let's pitch it to him. All right, man. So here's the story. Here's the movie, bro. Yeah. So they tell you the movie, and then they tell you your part, and you're like, oh, damn.
I'm playing that part?
I'm playing that part?
I gotta bend down and do what?
Bro, this is back 2009. I'm still Mr. Tough Guy. Am I in my 20s? I'm still in my 20s, right? I'm invincible, bro. I'm so badass. I don't have a fear in life. I'm not married. I have no kids. Bro, I want to be the next freaking Donnie Brasco. We're like, let's go.
This is Joe, y'all. Like,
Yeah,
this is how I
man.
knew him when he was like 13, 14, 15 years old, y'all. Like, straight up. That unbelievable energy, dude. Like, that mindset of his, yeah.
I was like, bro, what, are we doing this like right now? Like, I was ready to go. I ain't even read the script. And I'm ready to start filming.
Golly.
Like, let's just do this.
Hey, but is this because of the cartel? I can't help but to think, man. Remember we had mentioned a story on Apple
Apple.
TV. Isn't there?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not even going to shout out to them.
Okay.
Yeah, let's delete that.
Well,
And maybe we can come back, but I'll tell you the real story about the cowboy cartel.
I'm not deleting this. I'm gonna keep this. Goddamn.
Yeah. Now, so I did play a role, and of course, it's not in the documentary and what Chico was talking about. It's called the Cowboy Cartel, and it's on Apple TV. Of course, they delete my part and my role and what I did, and that's all right, man. I don't need the attention. I don't care. That's not who I am.
And maybe they did it to protect you.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
They did it because they want spotlights on different people.
Politics.
Whatever, bro. But that's all right. I don't, and maybe we can share the cowboy on my role in the cowboy cartel and in my involvement. But that was fun too.
Okay.
That was fun.
To talk about it. Okay. Thank you.
And that's part of the blue virus too, man. That involves some corruption.
Yeah.
And that's just different levels of corruption on that.
The fact that we're talking about the cartels, man. I mean, it's all
Love
together.
it.
Yeah.
Bro, love it, man.
I don't, but okay.
Love it. Even till this day, man, when I go out and speak to groups and the schools, and that's just my intro, man. Like,
that's crazy.
And you know, especially when you're talking to 16-year-old kids, think they're all bad, like, the police, and you're like, bro, you ever been face to face with a cartel guy?
And
they're like,
yeah.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
I have. And I was dumb and I wasn't scared. Like, I was fearless. Back to our story, bro. So I'm fearless. I'm like, yeah, man, boom, let's go. And they start laying out the operation to us. Like, this is what we want to do. This is how we're going to do it. You're going to be the drug transporter, 4 kilos of cocaine. Your story is you're coming from Houston and you're coming to meet this guy and you're going to get stopped by the police. You're going to get, robbed, you're going to steal the drugs, and then your role is over. And damn, that kind of sucks. So I die at the end of the movie? Like, or I die in the middle of the movie? Like, man, that's not cool. So they lay it out real simple, right? I'm like, and so me start thinking details. Like, all right, so I'm playing a bad guy. I'm playing at that level. When you're handling 4 kilos of cocaine, that's not small distribution level. I get it. There's hundreds of kilos of cocaine across the border on the daily. But 4 kilos is still a lot,
dude.
That's like having $100,000 in your pocket and walking around. I don't know.
Yeah, showing it off. With your gold bracelets and your Cuban necklaces, and like not expect somebody to come at you, right? There's always that thought, and I've always had that type of mentality. Like I think the worst case scenario, and how do I fight, flight, or make friends to get out of it, right? How do I get out of it? That's where my amygdala actually works in my brain. So then I start asking questions. All right, so I'm playing drug dealer? Yeah, cool. All right, 4 kilos of cocaine? Yeah. All right, how am I gonna have it? All right, you're just gonna hold it in the backpack, and you're gonna get pulled over by the cops, and he's gonna take the cocaine from you. You're done. Okay, hold up. All right, so I'm mic'd up. I'm going to have a mic. You guys are going to know what's going on. Cameras in my car, right? I'm thinking like TV stuff. And they're like, nope, no cameras, no mic. What? No one's recording. No, we're not going to have any audio recording on you. And I was like, so I'm not used to that type of investigation. I was always used to being mic'd up, being able to have my team hear me on the bug and on the wire, right? And be able to relay messages and save me in case some went bad. Right? They're like, nah, we'll be there. It's going to be a controlled area. We're going to have snipers. And I'm like, all right, so I'm starting to feel a little safer now. They're going to have snipers on the roof. Okay. They're going to have people hidden within the area that we believe not the takedown, but where the meat is going to be. And now it's starting to get a little bit more intense. So they're telling me, and I'm hearing the stories. Yeah. So we have SWAT guys. In an op like this, bro, you're going to have SWAT guys and snipers. Okay. And then here's the worst part. All right, no wire, no cameras recording me, no way to relay messages over to my team on what's going on. And worse, they said you can't have a gun on you. I was like, wait, what? So I'm a bad guy from Houston with 4 kilos of cocaine, and I don't have a gun? How does on that side of the business, don't they have a gun to protect themselves? How do you, yes or no? Like,
yes, most of the time. But
if you have
you're talking about now a cop robbing me for dope. And here was their mindset. And I didn't understand it back then. Is if a gun is introduced into this scenario, what if he has like the incident that you just talked about, where he pulls his pistol, shoots me, and now I'm dead? Is it worth it?
So they're just trying to eliminate any possibility.
They're eliminating the possibility of that weapon ever getting introduced into the scenario. And I was like, okay, I'm still big, bad, macho dude. All right, cool, whatever, man. I'll freaking I'll do some Matrix stuff and take that weapon away from him. Like, yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's going through my head, bro, right? It's just the little machismo in me. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, let's do it. But still with that fear inside, like, oh my God.
While you're thinking, what year is this? Can you say a year or no?
Say what?
What year is this? In between what year?
2009.
Okay, while you're thinking like that, everyone else is doing on the phones, customer service.
Yeah.
Kind of.
My brother's at the strip club, dancing for dollar bills.
But not you. This is your mindset.
I mean, bro, I'm out there acting like a drug dealer, man. 4 kilos of cocaine about to get robbed by a dirty cop. Damn. What'd you do today?
Trying to make a beat. Looking for a job.
Damn. Bro, so I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to go. I'm like, all right. So then I start playing out scenarios in my head. I start telling the team, I'm like, all right, so what if this happens? They're like, I will do this. I'm like, all right, what if he pulls his pistol on me? They're like, we'll kill him. And I was like, and what if? I'm like, wait, what? Bro, my team, the guys that were our takedown team, they were prepared to eliminate him if he were to hurt me. So I felt a lot safer. They literally told me that, like, if it goes to any point where he is pulling his pistol on you, we will handle the problem.
Yeah.
You do this, duck and roll, get under the car, whatever you got to do to get away from him. But we just can't introduce a weapon on our side into this.
Okay.
So I had to have that trust in them.
Yeah.
And man, back then, man, we had like a super badass SWAT team.
Yeah.
And these guys were just, this is what they did. This is the only thing that they did. True snipers, guys that just were always on point with an operation like this and that tactical mindset.
Yeah.
Right? And these split-second decisions, that's what they do. This is what they're trained to do. So I trusted them. But I was still scared, man. I was scared. And this is the scariest, and even until this day, this is the scariest thing that I have ever done in law enforcement.
Wait.
Yeah, bro, I've seen dead people. I've pulled my weapon on bad guys, but deep down, I'm scared. Like way deep down, I'm scared, but I can't ever show it.
Yeah.
Man, so then I remember setting up for the briefing, and we go to this big briefing, bro. There's a lot of people there, right? So a briefing is a meeting to let everybody on the team know what we're about to do, so that everybody knows their role, so that nobody F's up. Here is our undercover. Here's Joe Cruz, our undercover. This is what he's wearing. Everybody look at Joe. Everyone acknowledge Joe. Joe, say hi. What's up, everybody? I'm Joe.
Are you serious? That makes sense.
We don't need anybody effing this up. This is big. Our priority is my safety.
Wow.
Yeah. They even introduced the source, the informant. They're like, this is the informant. He is the one helping police. Informant, say hello. What up?
Hey, everybody.
Right? And they're showing pictures of the location, aerial photos. Here is the dirty cop. Here's where we are planning for the meet location. Here's the contingency plans. Here's what we're going to do before and after. Like everything, bro, like to the point. Everything. And if you have any questions, that's the time to ask. This is the radio channel that we're going to be operating on. These are the SWAT guys. This is the vehicles that they're going to be in. Like everything to the point. Everything. And then you got your guys, of course, the agents in charge of the case are, you guys are going to be way, way, way back over there. We'll call you when we need you. And if we need this, we'll call this person, or we'll call these units to intervene or to be involved in the takedown or whatever, however it was to occur.
Real quick, Joe, regarding technology, because I'm all about audio and mics and things and everything. Today's technology versus back then, 2009. Could you mention any changes in technology or no? Like the upgrades from then to now?
Yeah, man, we're talking like, looking back now, like we didn't have drones. We could have done something like that. We could have done something that like some aerial type of surveillance. We didn't have any of that, of course. And this is called going back to a debrief, like things we could have done to make this maybe better. Technology was horrible, bro. Like, yeah, come on, man. Could my phone have had a bug? Yeah, but we just didn't have that back then. Like, why couldn't my phone be a bug?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But that wasn't out there. Now it's easy. Now, like, just stick your phone in your pocket. Or leave a hot mic or whatever.
Okay.
Just we didn't have that back in 2009.
Yeah.
It wasn't accessible to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
wow.
And we're talking 2009.
Right.
It's not that, doesn't seem like that long ago, but yeah, man, like it just wasn't there.
It's what is that? Is that 16 years ago?
Yeah, bro. And then even thinking back, like my 4 kilos of cocaine that was in a backpack that we knew that was going to get robbed, like we didn't even have a tracker on that if we lost it. Like that's easy, right? Trackers nowadays, it can be the size of a freaking dime. You can put a tracker to see, make sure your package is going, is able to be found if you need to find it. We didn't have it. We didn't have a tracker that we can throw into a backpack, and that's got, just
These
thinking
movies,
back now,
bro.
It's like, damn, bro, like we could have lost 4 kilos of cocaine if this cop would have been a little bit better at his operation.
Mission Impossible is like so misleading, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so briefing's over. Any questions? No questions. Everybody knew their role. They knew exactly, what was going to happen or how we thought everything was going to happen.
And the people, right? They show, here's the people we're going to grab, right? It's the list of people. I mean,
You mean the targets, like there are bad guys?
targets.
Yeah, so when I say targets meaning suspects or the bad guys they were after.
Okay.
Yeah, so in this case, we only had one target. Our one target was the dirty cop. Now, we know that he can't do this by himself,
That's where I'm getting at.
but we didn't have the intimate details. We didn't know what happens after cop robs drug dealer for dope, and neither did the informant. Because the informant's job on prior occasions with this dirty cop was that the drug dealer would get pulled over by the cop, the drugs would get stolen, and he would meet with him later to split the drugs or the proceeds from the drugs.
Okay.
And that's all the informant had. He didn't know where the drugs went after the drugs got robbed by the cop.
Again, this is such a dangerous job because if you're doing that to these people, one day that dirty cop is going to do that to the informant. I mean, I know this happens all day, every day.
Right. And that's the scary part on both sides, right? And you would think that the cop would be like, oh, what if this guy one day decides to flip on me?
Because they can.
Easy.
That mental, oh my God, dude. That's
Like
crazy.
they're not homeboys. They're not best friends. They didn't grow up together. They're not family. There's no connection other than,
Thanks.
narco trafficking.
Let's make the money.
That's all, man. It's just that mindset of, hey, let's make some quick money. It's that virus, that corruption that just got in. I mean, was he always a dirty cop? I don't know. And was it because now he's in survival mode? Was he struggling with life? Does he owe bills? Is his family, mother dying of cancer? We don't know. What brought him to a level of corruption?
Wow.
Is this who he was? Or is this who he turned into? That's the question.
Wow.
That's the question. So the deal's set up. Informant makes a call. I got somebody showing up with 4 kilos of cocaine from Houston, Texas. He'll be here tomorrow. Cop's like, all right, cool. Hey, like last time? Nope, like last time. Bring him over into this area. Once he comes into this area, hey, make sure you know what type of vehicle he's driving so that at least know what to do and who to pull over. He's like, all right, man, I got it. It's all set up. So then, baby, time to go. Let's go. Game on. Click the red button. Time to record. We are prepared for the dirty cop to pull me over and pretty much take the dope from me, rob me for the dope. But we just didn't know how he was going to do it because the informant had never been involved in that part of any of the prior dope deals. But on this one, we needed the informant with me. We felt that it would be safer for the informant to be with me. I don't know, man, just as a second level of some type of protection so that the cop wouldn't do something stupid. Yeah. So the plan was to put the informant in with me. Oh. The informant was going to meet up with me, and we were going to do the deal in a parking lot, and then the cop would roll up on us. Instead of cop just pulling over who he thought was a drug dealer, and then the informant not even being there. Okay. So that's exactly what the plan was. Okay. The informant would be in the vehicle with me. It would be, the story was that I was going to pull into this parking lot, and then the informant was going to meet me to purchase, 4 kilos of cocaine. And in that time is when he will notify the dirty cop to roll up and intercept the drug deal.
Okay.
You see the image?
Yeah.
Any confusion?
No, I'm playing it in my head.
That's exactly what happened. So that's how we played it. En route to the location where the meet was going to be for me and the informant, the play of the dope deal. I pull into a parking lot. Bro, I'm driving a blue Blazer. You remember the Blazers? It was a blue 2-door Blazer.
Yep.
I'm driving that. And I have a backpack. 4 kilos of cocaine.
Oh my goodness. This is real.
Real. People ask it all the time. Oh, is it fake? No, it was real. It was real because we wanted to make a real case on this dirty cop.
Oh, wow.
Real cocaine, real perico, polvo, whatever you want to call it, bro. That snow, it was pure cocaine. Wow. People also ask, where'd you get the cocaine from?
I just figured it came from I watched too many movies. I should have asked that, but I just figured it came from the storage, that y'all
exactly. Yeah. We don't want to leave any questions.
Thank
in the
you
story.
for asking.
Yeah,
Joe.
People ask, where'd you get the cocaine? Oh,
from my friend.
Yeah. It was cocaine that we had seized on another investigation, and it played into this one. Hey, 4 keys. Yeah, we got 4 keys in our property room, so we took that. And man, when you take stuff in a property room, like especially a drug vault, like you need to make sure it makes it back to the drug vault. So that's the part that I think now, like, man, we could have potentially lost 4 kilos of cocaine. That's evidence in something. So I have 4 kilos of cocaine, man. I remember, it's crazy because I can even remember the backpack. It was a blue JanSport backpack. You remember your old high school backpack? Yep. That's exactly what it was, man. 4 kilos of cocaine in there. I pull up to the location. While I'm driving, I make sure that everything's in place. Everything's in place. I'm just pulling up and, man, just stick to the script. Allow myself to get robbed by the cop. And then leave. That was that's it. That's how it's supposed to go down. This is probably one of the smoothest operations that I have been involved in that just probably went exactly how it was supposed to go. Of course, there's always the anomalies and the stuff that I have to be able to
also predict.
Yeah, man. And so that's just how my mind's rolling the entire time, like just thinking. Wow. And so I've got the informant with me. He's like, man, you be all right. Just chill, man. Like, it's going to go down smooth. Don't worry about it. Bro, this is what he does. Like, he's done this multiple times with this cop.
Okay.
Yeah. And it like, all right, man, cool. Let's do this. And we're sitting there BSing throughout the drive. And like, man, like I've told you, like I've always just had a way to connect with bad guy. He's a bad guy, man. He's a good guy, but a bad guy. Like he's, that's just his line of business, but still.
But to go back to what your contingency plan, like your backup with the things that you're playing back in your head, those things that you're playing back in your head, Joe, is basically to help you stay alive.
Survival mode. You're exactly right. And I'm glad you brought this up because I almost missed it. I even told them during our briefing that if something goes bad, like if this dude pulls out a pistol on me, the dirty cop, I said, I'm zigzagging and running. I'm finding my way out of there, right? Because that's my survival mode. Right? Just running. I'm going to run. I'm not going to sit there and try to fight a cop because I know that the plan is to shoot and kill him, eliminate him if he tries to cause harm to me. So I told him, if at any point his pistol comes out that holster, I'm running. And I'm running that way.
I'm just letting y'all know, I ran a 4.6, 4.5. Joe ran, I think, like a 4.3, 4.2.
Yeah, I was a 4.2, 4.3 back in the day. Sure was, man. So I was ready to run, and I told him exactly what I was going to do. So that was my contingency plan, was to just run.
Just run. Oh my God.
And they laughed about it, but I'm like, no, seriously, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run. And then I'll tell you guys, we're going to pick me up later. Like, for real. I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
And that was my mentality, man, just going into these types of investigations. I'm not going to die.
Right.
I have to go home. I got brothers, sisters, a mom and a dad. I love what I'm doing. It's scary, but I'm going home tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know about him.
Yeah.
I don't even know about the informant. I'm going home tonight.
Right.
And that's just a type of mentality that you need to have going into these types of cases, man, especially at this level.
Yeah.
So pull into the parking lot with the informant. And, we're having a good conversation. He's just trying to relax me. Of course, man, I've never, we're machos, bro. We Latinos. I don't show no weakness. I'm acting like, yeah, bro, I do this, man. This is what I do. I'm undercover cop, bro.
Yeah.
Nebraska, whatever. Pull pistols on me, man. I ain't scared of nothing. Went to the parking lot, bro, but deep down,
Fucking
scared
scared.
as a mofo, bro. Scared in a mofo. Freaking sweating and shit. It's wintertime and I'm, bro, damn.
Oh, it's wintertime? Hey,
Yeah,
what is this? What month? September? That's hot.
Oh man, bro, I'm still scared.
Yeah, you're cold,
Deep
dude?
down, deep down,
cold.
scared.
I'm scared.
Shivering.
Yeah,
Why are you
dude.
shivering? It's because it's cold, bro. Why are you sweating? Oh, bro. How you sweating and cold at the same time? I don't know, man.
Emotions are running, bro.
Stop asking questions.
Emotions are running.
Stick to the script. So then he does exactly how the plan goes, man. He calls the dirty cop and right over there. All right, man, hey. He goes, I'm actually with the guy, and he's in this car, and we'll be in this parking lot. And, bro, and you always, even as an undercover, especially on something like this, you're like, there's just no way, man. Like, it's not going to go down. Like, he's not going to show. Like, there's just no way I'm going to look in my rearview mirror and there's going to be a cop pulling me over and stealing my dope. Like, you still want to think there's just that chance that this informant, or even the chance of this dirty cop having some snap to him and being like, okay, I'm not going to do this. This seems a little fishy here. Bro, I pull into this parking lot. I'm driving. Got the informant in the passenger seat. I got the backpack of 4 kilos of cocaine sitting right there between my legs. And I look in my rearview mirror and I see a cop car.
Just like that. I mean, he's ready.
He was ready. I was like, oh man, this is about to go down, bro. This is about to happen.
This is a police officer coming in out of nowhere, on schedule.
As planned. Pulls up behind. Remember, I've been parked maybe 5 to 10 minutes in this parking lot. It's a big parking lot. It's a truck stop. So, you know, these truck stops are very, very big. It's, and I'll give you kind of the general area. It was 45 and 75. I'm sorry. 45 and 20. 45 and 20. For those that know the area, it's a big truck stop right there on the south side of 20. Parked over there. The informant and I are just BSing back and forth. Bro, I keep my head on a swivel even when you can't tell. I'm always looking around, just how I've been trained, especially running these kind of ops. And I see the cop car and I'm like, man, if I see it, and then you just always think too, like, I hope my guys are seeing this. Like, please be paying attention and not freaking, I don't know, doing whatever. And I'm like, oh, here he goes. And the intensity just starts to build. So there goes the cop car. He's rolling up.
This is a fellow police officer.
I don't know who he is.
Well, what I'm saying
He's from another
is,
agency. But yeah, he's supposed to be part of the family.
Yeah.
I mean, supposed to be.
Oh, man.
Pulls up behind my car. And I'm like, oh, man, this is about to go down. Like, all right, I'm trying to remember the script, right? Like, all right, this is where I start to improvise. Like, what do I do? Like, no, stay in the car. Like, right? Like, all this stuff just starts running through your head. This is intense, bro. This is, you know the play. You know the play. But then you're hoping nobody calls an audible.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah. Stick to the play, or do I call audible? No, looks good. The lines where the defensive lines is where it's supposed to be. Let me just stay on script. Stay on script. He turns his lights on.
That causes attention.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He turns his lights on. And then I see him walking out. Or I'm sorry, stepping out of his vehicle. He's by himself. He steps out of the vehicle after he turns his lights on. And he walks up. Now, he's trying to make this seem like a traffic stop.
Yeah.
But remember, I had been sitting there for about 5 to 10 minutes.
There we go. Okay, I see it now.
So I've got the informant on the front passenger side. I'm on the driver's side. 4 kilos of cocaine between my legs. Car's still turned on. I'm parked like head end, and in front of me is like this barrier and like trees. Like this little, the guardrails or whatever.
Yeah.
And my plan was I'll just run through the trees. Like I'll get away in the trees if I need to run, if this goes really bad. He goes up to my driver's side and he knocks on the window. Roll down the window. I gotta play it cool, right? Like, what would you do if you just got pulled over by the cops? Like, you gotta play it cool. Like, you gotta try to be as normal as you can. And I'm like, yes, sir, what's up? And he's like, I pulled you over because you ran the red light. I was like, what do? Do I respond? Do I play stupid? Do I even... Now I got to think like he thinks. If I just say, okay, I surrender to this, right? He's going to know something's up. If I just, okay, yeah, sorry about that. I didn't run a red light, Chico.
Yeah, I know.
I've been parked there for 10 minutes. So I have to keep playing this role of, I didn't run no red light.
Right. Yeah.
I've been parked here for 10 minutes. Nah, I was watching that red light and you ran it. Man, I didn't run a red light. Now he starts to get a little rough with me and I'm like, oh, like, what do I do? Like, I wasn't prepared for that part. Like, don't you talk back to me, boy. You ran that red light. Get out the car. I was like, uh-oh. So he goes to my door handle. He's like, what's between your legs? And I was like, a backpack. Whose backpack is that? Not my backpack. Right? Isn't that what most people say? They find dope in your pocket. These aren't my pants.
These are not my pants.
These aren't my pants. I'm like, that's not my backpack. He goes, get out the car. So I get out the car and I'm like, oh man, please don't do anything stupid, bro. Like, I don't even want to be in handcuffs, right? Because that's scary because now he's got a lot of control over me.
Yeah.
Because get out the car. Very, like, unsafe on his side. Like, if I was truly a bad guy, a drug dealer, like, he put himself in a very vulnerable position. He literally gets me out the car, stand over there. And I sat at the rear of the car and he's like, who are you? Like, he doesn't know the informant, right? He's still trying to play this role. Okay. And they know each other. He goes, get out the car. And the informant gets out and walks around the car. Very unsafe for the cop. Yeah. Like, you always want to have control of your people. Yeah. Right? So he literally lets the informant walk behind the car and sit at the back of the car with me.
So y'all split up.
So we're split up and it's the cop. He opens the door, goes into the driver's seat. And I'm kind of glancing over. And he's like, this ain't your backpack? I'm like, that's not my backpack. And he opens it up. What does he see?
Yeah, the drugs.
4 kilos of cocaine, as planned, like his informant just told him.
Yeah.
He's like, he zips it back up, he takes the backpack, and then he walks over to the informant. He totally bypasses me, walks over to the informant. He's like, turn around. And he handcuffs the informant. He takes the backpack of cocaine and the informant and sticks it in the back of his police car.
But did he not... He didn't know you were coming, right?
Who didn't know I was coming?
Did he know you were coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, the informant told the cop that he had a guy coming out from Houston with 4 kilos of cocaine and he was going to be with him.
Okay.
During the dope deal while they were parked in the parking lot.
Okay.
So the informant had told the cop, hey, during our little drug deal in the parking lot is when you roll up and steal the dope.
But he put what's-his-face in the handcuffs now.
Right. Because I need to be out of the equation. I need to be out of this equation because he can't arrest me. If he arrests me, he's got to take drugs to the jail, saying I arrested this guy for drugs.
Okay.
He can't. I need to be removed from his equation. So the only way to do that was for me to say the drugs weren't mine.
Yeah.
And then in my mind, even as a narco trafficker, to where I wouldn't suspect that the informant. Now, just think like if, I'm not a cop. I'm not an undercover cop. I'm a narco trafficker. Yeah. If you remove me, then I can always say, hey, man, we got robbed and they arrested homeboy that I was supposed to sell dope to.
Yeah.
Right? He went to jail.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how they had it played out in their script.
That makes sense.
Remove me, take the dope, because that's his guy. Yeah. The informant and the cop are partners on this deal. So he put handcuffs on the informant, takes the dope, puts it in his car, and he's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a scene out of Training Day. If you remember that one part where Denzel's like, you want to go home or you want to go to jail? Remember when Snoop Dogg is in the wheelchair? Yeah. You want to go home or you want to go to jail? Like, well, I want to go home. And he snatches his stuff and he lets him go home. That was literally the scenario, bro. Like, get out of here. You want to go to jail? No, I don't want to go to jail, man. Get out of here. Just so abrasive, man. Like, and he wasn't a tough looking dude. Like, dude, whatever, man. Whatever. Like, I gotta take you right now if I need to take you, bro. So I get in the car. I get in my little blue blazer.
Yeah.
And my part of this story, or of this case, of this op, is over.
Oh.
I drive away and I'm like,
Done. It is. Oh,
I'm
my
done.
goodness.
I'm done. I did my part. Now, it doesn't stop there, right?
It doesn't?
It can't. There has to be an end to the story. I'm done. I hopefully expressed my feelings and told you how I felt throughout this and how crazy I thought this was. And then, bro, just driving away like, damn, this really happened. I just got robbed by a cop for 4 kilos of cocaine. Wow.
Yeah.
This was a cop in uniform in a police car on duty.
On duty. Yeah. Obviously, because he's in his car.
He's on duty.
It's not like on his way home or anything like that, you know?
Nah, he's on duty. Yeah.
What happened?
And then what happened? There you go, man. That's the question up. And then what? Everybody's like, and then what happened? Ah, bro. This part that gets crazy. And then what happened? Well, what happened was, all right, so I leave. I got out of there. My job was complete. So the last thing I saw was that the dirty cop puts handcuffs on the informant.
Yeah.
Puts the dope and the informant into the police car.
Okay.
And now it's time for the other guys to start working.
The whole reason for this.
Yeah. Your resources have now need to get to work. I did my part. My job wasn't to follow the dope, wasn't to jump out, make arrest, any of that. I am totally done. So I leave. Bro, I don't hear anything. I just left and went back to our station. Nobody calls me.
Okay.
Nobody's like, hey, good job. And that's not what I was looking for, but I'm curious on like, all right, what happened?
Like the end. Like,
Did you guys get them? Did you guys get them? Where's the dope? Like, do I need to do anything next?
Real quick, Joe, how long has this informant been doing this with this cop?
A minute. They had been doing this from what we were told, maybe a couple years.
Oh, wow.
It's not something that was brand new or it was their first time. They had been doing, well, let's just say this, not to, how many times, I don't know, but it was more than one throughout, the last year or so. This wasn't new to him. This is something that he was able to set up within a couple of days with the cop, the dirty cop. It wasn't like, hey man, so I got this idea. No, this is what they did.
Oh,
this is exactly what they did. And he had that trust in him already where he can just set up this deal and steal the dope.
This police officer has no idea his life's about to end.
No idea, man. He was just thinking easy money. I rob drugs from drug dealers. Who does a drug dealer go to report that he was robbed for drugs? Not the police. Right? You can't be a drug dealer, get robbed for drugs, and go and report it to your local police department.
That was my next question, but I was going to wait till the end. Like, because you do have somebody to report to, right? I mean, like, you still have all this stuff. And what I mean is, you're working for two, right? I mean, unless you're working on your own. You know what I'm saying? He's robbing for himself? Or is he...
Exactly, man. You're right on point. He's not working for himself. He needs other people within this team to be... I don't know, was the right word successful? Like, right. So I'll get to that.
Yeah.
So I remember I leave, I don't hear anything for about an hour and I'm like, damn, like what happened, man? Like, they were on a radio channel that I didn't have access to, so I can't hear any of the radio traffic. It wasn't like people were sending text messages back in 2009, like keeping people apprised of anything. Like, I literally just sat there for like, I want to say maybe an hour and a half before I heard anything. Like, like, man, so like, what's going on? Did they arrest him? Like, did we get our dope back? Like, what happened? So this is what happened. After I leave, The dirty cop, the informant, and the drugs drive down the street. They have surveillance on him the entire time. We had plenty of people doing undercover surveillance on him.
Yeah.
They're following him. The dirty cop leaves the parking lot of where he stole my dope from, and he drives into a neighborhood. I don't know, maybe a mile or two away. He meets up with two other guys.
Oh.
He unloads the dope to those two guys, uncuffs the informant, and lets him go. They later drive him back to his car, back at the meat location.
Okay.
And then dirty cop goes back to work on his beat. You know, like goes back to work whatever area he's working, like nothing ever happened, right? Because he's got to get back to work. Right? He's got to go answer calls for service. Like he can't just sit there and BS with his guys. Like, bro, he had it laid out. Rob drugs from drug dealer, meet with two homeboys. They ended up being his cousins, or one was a cousin of his.
Okay.
Unload, release the informant, and let me just get back to work. Let me finish out my 8-hour shift.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy, man? Like just being able to commit a crime like this and just get back to life like nothing ever happened, like everything's normal. Like that's the part that always amazed me.
Where does usually these drugs go? In this kilo?
Bro, so this after, say if this was a successful mission, then the drugs would get split up. They would either get, broken down. They would put cut into them, meaning that they would, turn. You know how easy it is to turn 1 kilo of cocaine into 2 kilos of cocaine? Really easy. That's why it's such a lucrative business. The further north drugs go, the more cut it has in it, meaning the more additives that they're putting into the drugs, right? Diluting it, exactly. So that's what they were doing here. They would get 4 kilos of cocaine. They would start to cut the drugs, add whatever they were going to add into the drugs, and then they would split the proceeds. That's how he operated with this informant, or dirty cop and informant, whatever, however he referred to him as. They were making really good money. And remember, the guy that set it up, our informant, was making a lot of money, and no money ever came out of his pocket. There was never no investment because he had a cop that was robbing the drugs. No money ever came out of their pockets. They were able to make really, really good money.
And you say up north as an example.
Right. So the further north drugs make it, like say, for example, if drugs cross the border into Texas, it'll hit a hub, either, it'd be San Antonio, Houston, Dallas. By the time it hits those locations, now it needs to keep moving further north. Drugs, especially at that, we're talking kilos of cocaine. It'll hit several hands. It'll reach several hands, where every time it hits a set of hands, it's going to get cut, because everybody wants to make 1 kilo into 2 kilos. Next person gets it, want to make 2 kilos into 3 kilos. And then even breaking it down to ounces of grams, want to make that the quantity. They want to be able to make more of a quantity of drugs.
And these drugs, who's the audience? Who's the customers?
Well, that's just our community, man, and what we see every day. Your drug users, your drug abusers. And from there, of course, it ultimately hits the streets. It's very hard to, see a small 1 gram package or 0.1 gram package or a Ziploc baggie of cocaine at its purest form. It's not. It's always going to have some type of cut to dilute it, because everybody's making money off of it. And like I was saying, the further north it goes, that means it's touching more hands, and it just gets cut again. But what's crazy is the price continues to increase. Yeah. Think about the transportation, like anything else. If I transport avocados to Canada, it's a lot of mileage, right?
It is.
Yeah, so the price of avocados keep going up. Same thing with drugs. The longer it takes me to go up north,
the more it
costs of money, the more people, the consumer, is paying for it.
Wow.
But the bad part is the more hands it's touching, the more times it's getting cut or diluted.
Wow.
But then he hands off the bag and the backpack to his homeboys. The informant's he's let go free. He gets dropped off at his car. Now his roll's over, so he checks in with the handler. All right, man, I'm done. All right, cool. Hey, we'll meet you here later on. I had already gone. I already left. So they're doing constant surveillance. They're splitting up. The surveillance team is split up in two. Now they have to watch Dirty Cop, and they also have to watch the two homeboys that now have the backpack of 4 kilos of cocaine.
Oh wow! It
Right?
has
So
now moved on.
they're pulling double duty now. They got to be able,
spread.
yeah. And I don't think they were prepared for that. I don't know what they were thinking. When I say they, the federal agents that were helping us in the surveillance team, I don't think they were prepared for what happens when this drug gets handed off. Like, does he take it to his house? Does he take it to, like, does he keep it throughout his shift? Does he wait until end of day and he just goes home like nothing?
Right.
They didn't know that part of it. Neither did the informant, because that's all the informant would do. The informant's job on an op like this was, yeah, they take the drugs, they call me later, and we split profits.
Yeah.
That's all he knew. He didn't know where he goes
Yeah.
at all. So remember, now the surveillance team is split up. You have one group following the Dirty Cop. You have one group following the vehicle with the two males and the drugs. So now I'm going to say the federal agents and those involved in that part, now it's time for them to follow the script. So they decided that they would follow the drugs until they saw where it landed, meaning where are they taking these drugs, right? They weren't, yes, they were prepared, but I think in their minds they were thinking that the Dirty Cop was going to hold on to the drugs until end of shift, like we just talked about. But no, he handed it off.
Yeah.
Informant goes back to his car. He's gone. He's out the picture. Now they're following the drugs and they're following the cop. The decision was to take down those guys that had the drugs. When I say take down, meaning they about to get pulled over and get arrested and seize the drugs that belong to us. But they knew that the bad cop and the two bad guys with the drugs were in communication. So how do you coordinate that takedown without the cop being alerted? Oh no, the cops just found out. So they had to coordinate that takedown.
Oh wow.
And it wasn't fast. I believe, since my part's done, and I'm thinking back, back to 2009. Once they landed, the two guys with the drugs landed somewhere with the drugs. They kept constant surveillance on them or at the location. They waited, I want to say, maybe an hour and a half before doing anything with the Dirty Cop, because the Dirty Cop literally is back on patrol, answering calls for service. Yeah. Now, we as law enforcement, how can we allow that to continue to happen? All right, you can't allow a Dirty Cop, especially that you just witnessed steal drugs, continue to work as a law enforcement cop, protect and serve. So this is what they did. The federal agents, they met up with the sheriff, the main sheriff I'm not going to burn any sheriff's office here, but they met with the main sheriff of that county.
Yeah.
They told the sheriff, this is what's happening. This is what we have. We just witnessed this.
Oh man.
So the sheriff is now playing a role in this.
Oh.
That you're talking about the main sheriff, the elected official, and one of the sheriff's deputies just committed a major crime. So that sheriff calls the Dirty Cop in.
But wait, what if the sheriff was in on it?
Nah, it was not.
You
not that
never
type
know.
of stuff.
You never
Could
know.
be. No, but there is more to the story, but it didn't involve the sheriff. The deputy gets called into the sheriff's office. Full uniform, weapon, everything. And he gets arrested right when he walks into the sheriff's office.
Right away?
Yeah. And it wasn't uncommon to be called into the sheriff's office. Like, hey, deputy, I need you to come in right quick.
Yeah.
So it was very normal for him to respond to the sheriff's office. And when he showed up, the agents were already there, and they cuff him up and arrest him. So now he's under arrest.
So fast. He didn't even get a chance to make calls or warn anybody.
And then they do the takedown on
Smart.
on what we later found out was one of his cousins, to make that arrest and retrieve our 4 kilos of cocaine. Wow, man. And that's a very complex investigation.
A whole bunch more.
But it didn't end.
What? What are you talking about?
During the rip, I'm going to call it the rip, or the robbery, whatever you want to call it, when I'm in the parking lot with 4 kilos of cocaine with the informant, there was another cop standing at the truck stop We can't prove it, but we know he was involved somehow because he kept on lookout. He was on a swivel the entire time. His head was on a swivel the entire time. The dirty cop never talked. He didn't confess. No, they attempted to debrief him, talk to him. He refused to talk. He lawyered up, as we refer, somebody who wants a lawyer, and then they don't want to talk to the police, and that's his right.
Yeah.
Never gave his side of the story. So was never able to tell us if that other cop who was standing guard at the door at that truck stop was involved or not. But I mean, we're not dumb, but just from what we saw and from what the surveillance team saw, are pretty sure that this cop was involved, this other cop. Wow. To run something like this, I think we just talked about it. You can't do it by yourself. He had a team.
Yeah.
And like anything else, if anybody's doing some type of illegal activity, you're going to have eyes, people that are watching your surveillance team, and then, people that handle kind of the exterior stuff of any illegal type of activity.
There's layers.
Yeah, and we believe that cop was dirty. The one that was looking out.
Whoa.
Oh, but then it doesn't stop. Everybody should know this, and if you don't, you're about to know this. What happens, my question to you, what happens when I'm equipped with a body cam? 2009, cops were the vehicles were equipped with cameras. They called them in-car, still call them in-car video cameras.
Okay.
And most of the time, if you have an in-car video, in which he did, and he also had a microphone on him, which what happens is that the camera and the microphone work together.
In sync.
To where they're in sync. And so you have the recording from the in-car video, and then you have the officer where you can hear his audio.
Okay.
What happens when you turn your lights on a police car? What activates?
Everything? I would assume because, I'm just, dude, I didn't even notice this. I never even thought about it. I bet you back in the day, when the lights turn on, they just turn on. You have a little analog switch, right? But today, I would assume that if you turn on the lights, because you're bringing this attention up to me, now, we're bringing it up in technology. If that light turns on, everything turns on and sends off, something maybe to the your team. Like, hey.
Exactly. This dude was stupid.
Oh, no. What happened?
He recorded the whole incident.
He was effed up from the beginning.
When he turned the lights on, right? Because he pulled me over for running the red light 10 minutes ago. Stupid. He recorded himself committing. Of course, we had our own recording, right?
Yeah.
We had a surveillance team, but just to put the little final bow on the top of the case, right?
Yeah.
To the nice little pretty package to the prosecutor, like
the little cherry on top.
Yeah. He recorded himself, right, from his in-car video because that turned on. Like, dude, you would think that he'd have had some snap to him, like, hey, hold up, let me not turn my lights on, because when I activate my lights, everything activates. Cameras turn on, my microphone turns on. Bro,
wow.
Everything was caught on his side as well.
Oh, wow. Everything.
Yeah, we just had different angles to everything now, which made it freaking amazing, man. And of course, this is stuff that I find out later on. I was like, man, that's kind of cool, man. Like, that's kind of cool. Freaking dirty cop getting himself caught.
Wow. But I mean, I would never have thought about it.
Right.
Just turn on the lights. Hey, man, turn the lights on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, bro, dumb. So how the story ends, of course, we retrieve the 4 kilos of cocaine that makes it back to the police station, untouched. Everything worked out well. The 2 partners, of course, get arrested, and he gets arrested. Bro, the feds didn't mess around on this.
What do you mean?
They ended up getting him for, the what he did, robbed me for the 4 kilos of cocaine.
Yeah.
But they also got him for like a weapons violation.
Well, he has a weapon.
But he committed a crime while in possession of a weapon. I was like, that's pretty creative, man.
Wow.
They were like, F this dude.
Oh, wow.
He's not going to give up anybody within the organization. F him. We're going to put it all on. We're going to throw the book at him.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, they get him for the robbery, for stealing, drugs, being in possession of drugs, but also committing a crime while in possession of a firearm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which is lined up perfect for a federal offense.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing some federal time. And then we found out, man, he was married, had a family, had a newborn kid. Like just normal, typical that you would think, and just nah, man, just living that dirty life.
So he was living a dirty life. He wasn't. There was no motive. There was no. What is your why? Why are you doing this?
So we never found out. We never found out because he never talked to us, right? And we couldn't figure out like was it greed? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say greed, but why? Why'd you need the extra money? Were you not making enough money as a cop? Like we never knew. We'll never know unless one day he decides to come on this podcast because I know he's out, a free man. He's out. And he could tell us this side of the story. But at the time, this is all we had. Ain't no secrets to this. This is out. It's a case that's been disposed of.
Yeah.
And anybody can Google it. And it's information that's available for anybody. But yeah, I personally don't know his side of the story. And the government doesn't know his side of the story. Now, I'm not 100% sure he's out, man, because I just really haven't kept up with the case, if he's out or not in the free world. But yeah, man, I think, if that opportunity ever, if I ever had that opportunity to talk to this cop, who I refer to as a dirty cop, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. Title it what you want.
Yeah.
Just for him to understand, like, this wasn't personal. He should know that it's nothing personal. It was a job that I had to do.
Yeah.
It was something that he was involved in that was illegal activity. And of course, using the power of the badge to supplement, to mitigate, to whatever. I mean, I think it'd be cool to talk to him.
I mean, we in the episode 1, we talk about that we're all human, and we make these decisions. And when you have that badge, you're in another level in life, right? And you used it to manipulate the system, right? Yeah, you did it because greed, right? Or like you said, what was your motive? What is your why? Why did you do it? I know the audience would love to know, not love.
I'd be intrigued.
Yeah. Why did you do it? Because he's not alone. There's others out there that they have a testimony, and they went through it. And don't get me wrong, there's others who can't wait to get out there and do it again,
Exactly.
But this individual...
Or having a certain goal in mind, like, all right, I'm going to do it just one more time because I need to make this much money and then I'll stop.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to hear your side of the story. And if that were to happen, man, I'd be more than willing to have a sit down. Yeah, that'd be really cool, man. Because once again, it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
It was just a decision that he made on his own.
Yeah.
Or was it on his own? We don't know.
We don't know the whole story.
We don't know.
Oh my goodness, dude.
But yeah, man, we'll see what happens, man. But that was just one of many drug investigations that I was involved with, bro. But there was this one time.
Yeah.
It was a cartel case, and they thought I was a dirty cop.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.